creatives, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the year 2022. How was your holiday? How have you all been? Let me know in the comments down below. Yes, as you can probably tell, the decorations are pretty much gone out of the background. They were fun while they lasted, but now we're in a new year and we're going to check out the new features that came out in Photoshop just, I think, about almost a month ago, and we're going to go through them. There's quite a few, and there's also some things that are going to be coming up soon. If you guys have not subscribed yet, I know I have a lot of new subscribers. By the way, thank you. We hit our goal. We got 600 subscribers last month. I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. And if there's anything you all want to see, also leave that in the comments down below. I do generally respond to at least most of you if I can. So go ahead and leave any request down below and I will see what I can do. But today we're going to dive in to Photoshop. I have the application, had it open right here. And what we're going to do in the Photoshop home screen on the iPad here, there is a, where is it? New and upcoming features, so we'll view that. And then, as we've done before here on this channel, I'm going to go through every single one, announce them to you, and then we are going to go in and dive deep into what they do, how to use them, and all that such. Also, by the way, if there has been a new intro, which there should be to this video, what do you guys think of that? I try to do a new one every single year. Alright, so we have this. The first thing that they like to show off is their new learning courses, if you will, that are free with a CC subscription. So that is always in here. And then we also have, as far as new tools goes, we have the Smudge Tool. Now, the Smudge Tool is a favorite of mine. You can use Smudge Tool to create any kind of blend that you wish. As far as digital painting goes, for all of those digital painters out there, this is a great tool for you, and I'm so glad that they finally brought it to Photoshop, because honestly, just doing blends, sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes it's not enough, especially if you want to just use, you know, a more natural looking blend of color and shape. The next thing we have here, I do believe that Smudge Tool is also under the Dodge toolbar, the Dodge tool on the toolbar, which we'll get to. The Sponge Tool. Now, I have not fully used the Sponge Tool before in the desktop version of Photoshop, which, by the way, speaking of that, we are on the iPad version of Photoshop here, as you can tell. I have a 10.2 inch iPad, the 7th generation, and I have a 1st generation Apple Pencil. I do hope to upgrade this at some point, maybe this year. We'll see. And this Sponge Tool allows you to not only place color, but also soak up color in certain areas of your image. So that's going to be fun. It's also under the Dodge tool in the toolbar. And then we also have new brushes. New brushes. Gotta love new brushes, because Photoshop is always trying to come out with new brushes for all of us digital artists out there. So we have a lot of new brushes from the fall of 2021. I have not explored them yet personally myself. We will probably today. And there's a lot of texture brushes. There's a lot of decorative pattern brushes. There's also lots of graphite brushes, inking brushes, like enough brushes to like fill up your library basically. I don't know how many there are, but we'll find that out, because in my last video that I did when Photoshop came out with new brushes, they showcased the number of brushes that there are, and my goodness, there's a lot. Alright, next up, camera raw editing. Now, I do not edit raw photos. I don't really shoot in RAW too often, if at all. So raw camera editing I'm not going to showcase in this video. However, you are more than welcome to do it. I'm sure it is amazing. I probably won't be using it. Next is the Smart Object Conversion. Thank goodness, because honestly, Smart Object Conversion is something that is always needed in a photo editing program, like for instance like Photoshop, and it allows you to do edits to your photos without completely destroying them, so that way you keep the integrity of the original image without having to break it apart. So that's always good to have in here. Awesome to see that. Then we also have, I think the Smart Object tool is in the Properties panel. Yep. Then we have dodge and burn. Dodge and burn is always handy, especially if you're doing a lot of lighting techniques on your photos. So you can add light, you can add darkness to certain areas of the photo, and it will make it look amazing. Always love that. That is going to be on the toolbar somewhere when we get in here. And then of course you have share for commenting. They brought this out last year in Illustrator on the iPad, and now it's here for Photoshop. So you can send questions and comments and feedback to your clients and or design partners, and then they can respond to you right in the program, and that way it takes out a whole bunch of excess need for email and such like that. And then what's coming? They always like to tease at the end what's coming, and honestly I am waiting for the color swatches. Where are they? They're still coming. My goodness. I need color swatches because I like the convenience. So, color swatches. Smart filters, that would be nice too. Smart filters in here. Content aware fill, please. Oh my goodness, last year there was a woman, I'm sorry I forget your name. There was a woman, she made a comment about like, how am I supposed to fill this area? Am I missing it? And I'm like, no, you're not missing it. It's just not on the iPad yet. It's on the desktop version, but not on the iPad version. And it's coming, finally, thank goodness. So that's for you. I believe you were doing wedding photos, if I'm not wrong. I don't quite remember, but it's coming. And auto selected layers, it's always nice. Sorry, let me shut my phone off. Auto select layers, that's always handy because that way you don't have to keep going back and forth to the layers panel, just like layers. And custom fonts, thank you. I would really appreciate custom fonts because that would be amazing to have in Photoshop. And I'm wondering if they also are going to do more custom fonts for Illustrator in the future. I guess we'll find out. Let's see, grids and guides. Yeah, grids and guides would be quite helpful. It would be quite helpful. They have it in Illustrator already. Come on, Photoshop. Sharpen your image. Also very handy, especially if your image ends up being just a teeny bit blurry and you want to just sharpen up those edges. That's always very handy to have. So let's dive in to each one of these, except for the camera raw editing because I don't use that. Sorry guys. But let's dive into the first one, which will be the Smudge Tool. Alright, let me just go ahead and import, let's just import one of my photos here really quickly so that way we can see some of this happening. Let's do a nice photo. Let's do this one. Now, this one is going to be a night photo. I did take it with a long exposure on my new iPhone 13. This makes really good photos. So this is a long exposure, I believe, of an exposure of 10 seconds, and it has an automatic night mode on it. So you get lots of light, lots of color, and a lot of moodiness. So let's go ahead and explore this now. Whoops, for some reason I was on the lasso tool. Okay, so we have our layers panel over here as always. Here's the share for commenting bubble right here. So you can add people to this by their email, I believe, and then you can write comments, kind of like how Instant Message or Discord chat works. That's there if you need it, if you want to use it. And there is the new tool over here for dodge, which is nice. So we tap on that, and there's a lot of options there for you. Let's see, if you double tap it, let me just showcase that. Let's go back to the selection tool. Double tap the dodge tool. There's adjustment tools. Okay, so they call this toolbar the adjustment tools. And the adjustment tools have pretty much all the new tools in there. So that was handy. They put it all under one like little set. So you have dodge, burn, sponge, and smudge. So the first tool that we saw was the smudge tool. So I'm going to choose that one. And I'm just going to zoom into, let's just zoom into a cloud. And let's see what the smudge tool can offer us. Now there are settings here, size, strength of the smudge, it's at 50%, I'll leave that. And then the hardness, we don't want any hardness when it comes to smudging because we want all the smudging to be soft. Unless you want like a more implied line situation. So let's go ahead and smudge out some of this. Okay, so there is no feedback as to where the selector is. So, okay, but you can see Or perhaps you can't, but I'll try and make it more. Here, let me increase the size of this. There we go. Let's do 66. There we go. So smooth strokes. You don't need to be too brash with this, and you can soften up pretty much all of these harsh lines. Oh, they're not harsh lines. I mean, they're clouds, but you can smooth it out a bit more, change the shaping, move the colors, if you will, so you can get this nice like sweepy motion going on. It's quite fun, actually. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna get carried away. All right, next is the sponge tool. So let's go ahead and try the sponge tool. Sponge tool, you're dropping and picking up colors. So we need, I kind of want to take more of this color here. Let's see, how is this going to work? Let's tap on these 3 dots over here. I'll just use my finger to tap on them. Ooh, mode desaturate. Okay. Saturate. Alrighty, here we go. We got it. Desaturate is taking away color, saturation is adding more. So that's good to know. I'm going to start with use pressure for size. I don't think so. So let's desaturate an area really quickly to see what that does. Let's go over here where it's lighter. Oh, I see, it goes more to gray. All right, I'm gonna undo that. What is that? Hello? I seem to have caught something there. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna fix that real quick because spot healing brush tool. There we go. All right, by the way, the spot healing brush tool was in my previous what's new in Photoshop video. I'll link it somewhere. Okay, let's see. Instead of doing the sky, let's do something a little bit more intricate here. Let's do a desaturation. Let's do a saturation. Hang on. Let's do a saturation. Let's go back to the 3 dots. Let's do a saturation increase on this here. Let's see what. I'm just pressing ever so gently. Oh, look at that. It gave it more light. Okay, let's see about over here, just ever so slightly. Okay, there isn't much that you can do as far as the darkness level here, but I'm wondering if the saturation on this garland here that I have will make a difference. Oh, yes, it does. It brings out more of the undertone colors. So, wow. All right then. Let's desaturate this section right here. This little section here, just ever so slightly. Tone it down a little bit. There we go. There we go. That's a bit better. All right. I think that's pretty successful as far as saturation, desaturation. Now, if you want to saturate something that's a bit more obvious, let's saturate this up here. I'm going to go along the same line as these rungs here, and then you can see a blatant difference. It's more orange toned, it's more warm toned, rather than this cool tone over here. So if we desaturate it, you can see the difference here. It takes all the warmth away and leaves it more cool toned, which I kind of like the cool tone contrast. So I think I'm going to do that and save it as more of a desaturated cool tone type of thing here. I don't want to do too much because I still want the light to be there. That was a bit much. Just undo that last row there. Okay, there we go. Now that we have done all of that, let's go into the fall brushes. The fall brushes are going to be under the brush tool. Tap it twice, and then you can add the brushes down here with this plus sign all the way at the bottom. You can just discover new brushes, and they will come up to the Adobe website for you. It'll open it up and it will show you more of them. So when it comes to, when it comes to the brushes, there are, fall 2021. So there are 26 new brushes from the fall 2021 brush pack. You have lots of different kinds in here. Bright pen, ratchet, wonky variant, wonky brush. I kind of want to try this wonky brush, not gonna lie. Let's add a new layer on top here. And then let's see, let's pick up a color. Let's pick up a nice green. That's not green. See what I mean about needing the swatches? Like, the swatches would be so much more helpful. All right, let's do a test. Whoa, that's way too big. No wonder, it's at 500. Let's do 21. Oh, that's nice. All right, you know what we could do? Tap, delete, new layer. We could add more of a texture to the wood here. Let's see. Where's that brush? All right, let's try, what's the name of this brush? Zig Ink? What's Power Spatter? Oh, Power Spatter would be cool for the sky. All right, let's go to Zig Ink first. And then I'm going to change the color more to a mid color of this. Add some more textures here. Go into our properties panel, bring down the opacity, and let's do a multiply. Bring down the opacity a bit more, add a bit of texture in there so it looks like it's coming off of the garland right there. Pretty handy, right? All right, and then let's go into the sky and let's see about that other texture. Maybe we'll put it in the clouds. What is that other texture here? What is it called? Power Spatter? There we go. Let's do a nice lighter, more bluish color here. I'm also gonna do a new layer. Let's just see. Give it more of a green texture. Whoop, that was a bit too hard. Add a bit of texture, go to the properties panel, bring down that opacity. Let's do a lighten type of effect. Just adding some texture to the sky, to the clouds a bit over here. Something fun. So you can choose a lot from these brushes. There's lots of different choices, like this claw brush here. Makes kind of like tracks, if you will. Quite fun. Next, moving from the brushes, we are going to go into the Smart Object, which is going to be in your Properties panel. So in the Properties panel, you can convert to Smart Object. So let's go back to our original photo. Properties panel, convert to Smart Object, and it's going to take its sweet time doing that. And then you can add all of these adjustments without harming the original photograph, which is amazing. So while we're at it, let's go ahead and go into the dodge and burn. So let's tap on the adjustment tools. Let's go ahead and dodge some colors here. See what it does if you dodge the sky. Oh yeah, you get some cool lighting effects that way. All right, so what it did when you convert it to a Smart Object, it takes the original photo, it copies it, and then you can choose to flatten it so you can make edits. And I'm gonna just increase the brush size of this. For the dodge tool, you can make these really cool, especially if it's for the sky, you can make these really cool sweeping motions. So it looks like there's extra light coming from here. Kind of like globally, if you will. Just like that. So you can have extra light, and then if you want to burn, whoop, wrong way. Let's increase that brush size. If you want to burn slightly, take certain areas, for instance this, and it becomes deeper and darker, just like so. Make it more dramatic, if you will. And then over here, back in this window, burn it out a bit more. Let's go back to the dodge. Adding a little bit more definition right there. And I'm gonna add a little bit more of the dodge to up here, just to lighten that section up a bit more. There we go. So we're getting a lot more of an intensity, a lot more of playing with light and shadow over here. I kind of want to just go over this a little bit. Now you can do this, I believe, with different colors. Let's go to more of a pink. Let's see. It does add a form of color shift to this, which is really quite cool. I'm gonna go back to that smudge. Nope, not the sponge, the smudge. Let's go back to the smudge. Let's just smudge this all out so that way you don't see any lines. It looks like something magical's happening. This is really quite fun. So we just messed with some dodge and some burn, some adding light, adding darkness in certain areas of the photo, especially in this area and in this area and in this area. And then the last thing is basically editing the rest of this photograph. I think what I want to do is I want to, and this is all done as a smart object with the exception of the 2 layers above, but let's go back to our smart object and I'm going to burn some more of the clouds. Whoa, that harshness. There's no hardness at all. All right, let's do exposure 71. Let's increase our brush size to about 221. Ah, there we go. Yeah, more drama. Don't want drama in life, you want drama in your photos. All right, so that makes them look more ominous. Look at that. And then we can go down here and we do more. Look at the dark clouds. Dark clouds. It was a rainy type of night. So you can really go like just wild with this and make it super cool. Play with all your light and shadow and such like that. I'm just gonna add a little bit into here, just for some fun. There we go. So you can play around and mix around with all of these and definitely have fun playing with all those brushes. Like there's so many more that I did not showcase. Like there's 26 to play around with, so I'm pretty sure you can find something to do with them. There's inks, there's pencils, there's lots of textures, vortex brush, vortex variant. Well, let's just see what this is. I'm gonna delete this little thing here and I'm gonna create a new layer just to see what this does. Ooh, look at that. Hang on. Hold the phone. Let's do something here. Let's do this little gray number here. Hold on. Oh, it does make a vortex. Hang on. Let's take the opacity down quite a bit. It's bringing so much texture to this. Oh, that's so cool. Imagine, okay, hang on. Let's imagine for a moment. Just adding this texture everywhere. Well, that was a little too harsh. That's cool. You can make your photo pretty grainy and then you can go into the properties and instead of it being normal, you multiply it, color burn it. Oh, look at that. Look at how cool that is. You get like this like grainy texture, grungy look on it. That's cool. You can color dodge it, make it look like one of those like messed up camera like negatives. That's cool. I like the color dodge. Honestly, the color dodge I think is where it's at. That looks so cool. Look at how many textures there are in there. Okay, so yeah, definitely spend your time looking through this. Have fun with it. If you want to make sure that you still have your original photo, I'm gonna go back here onto the Smart Object one. I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna go back to this one. I'm gonna show it back and you still have your original photo back in here. So you don't have to damage your photos. It's really easy to just make sure that they stay there. That way you can still go back to your original photo and not have it completely ruined. But this, honestly, I really like this. This came out really cool. I did not expect that. So definitely play around with the brushes, play around with your smart objects, and definitely have fun. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like if you did like it, and I will see you soon, creatives.